What up? Welcome to A to the Show with me, A to the Mo. Episode 17, my favorite number. So I went with the worst fit yet. I was like, what looks the worst on camera that won't make me, I felt like last week I was trying to look too slim. So we're gonna, we're going tie-dye. It's, and Simpsons, tie-dye Simpsons, a shirt I sleep in. So there you go. A workout shirt, if you will, for when I someday work out. Yeah, thanks for checking out the podcast. A couple weeks ago, I thought the episode was so good and the numbers were kind of soft. And then eventually they were all right. And then the episode last week came out and I was like, hey, people checked it out. But YouTube are going to pull those numbers back. But anyway, just saying, thanks for listening to the podcast. A little on the sadder vibes today around here, I will say. I just, I like to document things in real time because the only purpose this podcast will have years from now is when I listen to it, when I have dementia, trying to remember this time period in my life that I happen to record my thoughts every week. That's going to be important to keep me mentally stable in the nursing home that the state puts me in because I don't have family that would be taking care of me. So yeah, my grandfather mentioned this last week. He got leukemia and, he's going through treatments. And the day I'm recording this, he's been moved to the ICU. I don't think it's looking good. It's not looking good. I thought about it a little bit earlier, but I got way too sad. And I was like, let's just do a podcast so I can, rant and stuff. But, listen, this may be the worst episode, but I think I can power through it. At the moment he's good and the whole family's praying. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what we got there. All right. I almost got a haircut this week. I know I've been talking about this a long time. I guess I shouldn't have put all my hair up in my hat so people can see how stupid my hair is looking. I am working on like a nice little kind of mullet thing going on over here. I think a certain demographic would appreciate it. But I almost got a haircut this week. I feel my other grandfather, I had two living grandfathers at the beginning of this year. He died earlier this year. And then for no reason, I was like, I'm not cutting my hair. I don't know why I thought of that when he died, but also maybe it was just another thing where like you get depressed and you don't want to deal with cutting your hair and shit. But anyway, I just then was like, I'm not cutting my hair. And then now that this grandfather isn't looking great, I was like, I feel like I need to get a haircut. I don't know. It's weird. So anyway, I drove to the place to get my haircut. Now, my real problem is I don't have like a person that cuts my hair. I just go into a random ass Supercuts, Pro Cuts, anything with cuts in the name. And I'm like, I just signed my name up. Like, do you want a special person? And I'm like, I don't know any of these motherfuckers. And now, growing up as a kid, I went to like the same, like there was two people. When I was feeling like a man, I'd go to this barber shop. And then whenever I was feeling pretty, I'd go to this salon. And this lady, Jennifer, cut my hair forever. She would charge me basically no money. I mean, a little bit, like the minimum amount. And then I would just come every week. And I'm like, I'm always getting my hair cut. So anyway, I don't really have that relationship with someone to cut my hair these days. And I just got to go to random people. So sometimes it's good. Most of the time it's not. And there's this one emo looking girl, an elder emo, if you will. And she always pops up my Instagram of like people you may know you can add as a friend thing. And I have considered sending her a friend request and then being like, can you be the person that cuts my hair? Cause you cut my hair good once, but, that feels odd. But then again, I'm like, that's literally their business. I think this would be appropriate. I don't know. So, these are the thoughts. So I drive to this place to get my hair cut. Obviously it didn't go well, but anyway, I go all the way inside this place, sit down. I'm the only person waiting. And I sign the name on the paper, and then there's two people getting their haircuts to the two people working. One I mentioned on my previous podcast years ago with Skinny. I remember I was on the episode with Skinny, knew the guy, and I can't remember his name at the moment, but I knew his name then. But he was a gay fella that is pretty large. And I remember saying like he just really was like touchy. Like he was like always like, I don't know. His hands were on me more than anyone's hands have ever been on me while cutting my hair. And I was like, it just kind of was awkward. And Skinny's like, oh, I know him. He's crazy, or something like that. That's my Skinny impression at the moment. And So anyway, that guy was doing it, and then this girl that just didn't have the appearance of someone that would be good at cutting hair. She just looked like she was, I don't know. I was being real judgy, basically, of the people cutting the hair. And I was looking at the haircuts they were giving the people, and I was like, both those haircuts do not look good. And so I just got up and crossed my name off the list and walked out. I said there maybe 2 minutes between then. I'm sure they were like, what a weirdo. But I remember they were like, this happens all the time. But now I've been like, well, now I don't even know when I'm going to get a haircut because that was a weird move. And maybe someday I'll just go in there and I'll catch the right vibe. And then if I don't even want to say it, but if I have to look presentable or in a setting where I might have to be wearing fancier clothes, I might feel like I need a haircut. Because my beard also doesn't look good, but if I shave my beard, my hair looks weirder. So like I have to kind of have the beard with the long hair at the it's just the look, it's the look at the moment. Kind of like a Bigfoot sort of, maybe a Bigfoot hunter sort of look. Man, I wish I believed in Bigfoot. So yeah, that was my personal life, me trying to get a haircut this week. It didn't work out. In the world, Tylenol, this Tylenol autism news, I feel weirdly connected to. Not because I love Tylenol or because I have autism or anything. Maybe 1% I say, but not like the real deal. ADHD probably. But I actually knew about this news story. This Tylenol study came out in 2018. And I would say maybe 4 years ago, I came across it and talked about it on my previous podcast because at this time I'm getting bombarded with like my Instagram and Facebook and TikTok feed all decided that I had this autism ADHD combo thing they call AUHD, and they'll be like, you have this thing? Because maybe you have AUHD. And they would just like always just bombard me with shit all the time. So through that in my feeds, I saw this thing of like new study, Tylenol linked to autism. And I fucking read that whole article. I used to read a lot of shit on the internet, but then it all went to videos. But there was a time people were writing shit. And we'll be back with the AA, I'm sure. But anyway, I remember reading that, talked about it here of like, my thought then was, I mean, makes as much sense as anything else. I mean, women, if they didn't know, would take Tylenol because they have labor pains or whatever, or pregnancy pains. And so they would, maybe, it could happen. Like, that was my thought then. Like, who the fuck knows? I'm not a scientist. And so anyway, Trump and RFK Jr. go on stage, talk about this, and the left really are like, that's stupid. There's no possible way, they'll be like, autism was first discovered in this year and Tylenol didn't exist till this year, which I don't think anyone's saying like it is the originator, but I guess I'm of two minds. It's weird that we like look at how the autism rates have went up. Like it used to be like 1 in 3,000 or whatever. Now it's like 1 in 32, or again, I'm just making up numbers here. And then people on one side of this issue, which happens to be the left liberal side at the moment, but it's only because the right is the one talking about. I think if it went the other way, they would switch their tune. It just depends who delivers the messages. Anyway, they're like, why do we need to fix it? Autism's good, and then, but it's like you these numbers are like, well, that's clearly increasing, like the rate of which it is. Now, if your argument's like, yeah, that's evolution, we're changing to a different thing, fuck, I guess. But for people like, well, we kind of want to figure out why, that does seem like science, like trying to figure out, why is this happening? And so for that to be kind of attacked by the side that was like, trust the science, seems weird. Now, I think maybe their argument would be like, the science has been settled because a study's been done on, whatever back in the day. And maybe that's true, but I just think you can easily see, and I'll say this for left or right, how money can affect any study. Like people can be bought off and bribed. And so maybe you do a couple of them, to make sure everything's checking out. I don't know. I just think it's weird, the thing. And then really just the attack on like, we don't need to cure autism. And sure, if someone just like if you got like a little Asperger's, I work with a guy that was a kid, was totally has Asperger's. And then I guess they got rid of Asperger's where it's not a thing anymore that they tell you. And so, and me and him have a really similar personalities on days. He's a little more, what's the word? Prickly might be the right word than me, but we're very similar. So, maybe I would have like a light splash or whatever that is, but that is not the same as people that have like severely autistic people so to tell like these parents that have to like struggle with these kids are like, no, that's not an issue to look into. And I guess you can't solve it once they're born, but we're looking at like what's the environmental things that would go into it. There's this sort of word. I remember the same thing came with Down syndrome stuff. And I know I brought this up at work and someone got kind of heated about it, but I was like, there's this thing where people are like, oh, they can determine if a baby in the womb has Down syndrome and you could just not, I guess, or maybe if they could find use CRISPR, which is like a DNA modifying thing, if they could use that to make sure the kid didn't have Down syndrome, would you do it? And then people that have family members that have Down syndrome, like, how dare you? I love them. And I'm like, I don't think that's the conversation, but like it gets twisted into like you're trying to genocide a population or something, I don't know. It's a sensitive topic, but it has led to a lot of good Tylenol autism memes. So if we have nothing else in our current world and we don't have much, we will always have pretty good memes. So you got to be thankful for that. Bad Bunny got the Super Bowl this year. I will say the Super Bowl booking has had controversy most years, it feels like, so people are always bitching about it. And I think there's a fun little twist in this one I'll get to. For last year, the whole twist was they got Kendrick Lamar and people thought it should be Lil Wayne, 'cause it was New Orleans. And I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan, but I was like, I think that's a weird precedent. Like, that's not normally how it works necessarily. But people got mad about that. But then also for the last 2 years, people have been like mad preemptively that they're going to get Taylor Swift to do it, because like they're shoving Taylor Swift down the NFL fans' throats, all because they're going to have her do the Super Bowl. All right. And then this year they announced Bad Bunny's doing it. And now a lot of those same people that were mad at this hypothetical Taylor Swift are like, Taylor Swift should have got it. She deserves it. Like, that's now their fucking, I don't know, that their argument just flipped because like that's how much they don't like Bad Bunny or what he represents or whatever. I'll be honest, I know so little about Bad Bunny that it just annoys me how famous he is for the fact that I don't care. And I understand like anyone hearing this, your family, like, who wasn't mad at you? And it doesn't matter. It's just like in my world, I couldn't tell you one Bad Bunny song. I only know what he looks like because I've seen, people post pictures of him and stuff. And recently they're all pictures of him in women's clothing because they're like, how dare this man be in the Super Bowl? And yeah, none of his songs are in English, I don't think. And maybe some people would be like, what does that matter? But I just don't listen to songs in other languages. There's that one Brazilian song on TikTok that apparently is saying some really dirty gangbangy type shit, but it sounds really cool, like and lovely. And it's a fucking bop, but I've never pulled that up on a streaming site. I'd be like, what's that song? So anyway, people are mad about Bad Bunny. I don't care. I've watched the Super Bowl, I think the last 2 years, but not like really into it. The Super Bowl halftime shows haven't been good really in a long time. I know that people like the Dr. Dre one, and it was good. It was, it was better than a lot of others, I guess. I don't think most are that great. I just miss the era in which it was like, we get one act from every music genre and they're going to do a fucking remix collab to all of their shit. So it'd be like, here's NSYNC, Nelly, Tim McGraw, Britney Spears, and No Doubt or whatever, and then they would all be out there doing their own fucking segments. I don't know. There was something about that growing up with that. I liked it. But there were many years that sucked. I remember they had like Rolling Stones one year and that wasn't good. And people now are like, fuck, I miss when the Rolling Stones did. I'm like, in the moment, y'all bitched about that. So anyway, that's my only sports news I think this week that I'm going to touch on was the Super Bowl stuff. I mentioned how I was kind of into the NFL earlier the first couple weeks of the season, kind of fell off that after that a little bit, but I might get back around to it. Just depends what's happening on a Sunday. Sometimes you got shit to do, which is interesting when I see the kind of bro barstooly culture type people, which I do enjoy the barstool clips, to be honest. But that whole idea, like their whole Saturday and Sundays blocked out to watch football. Like, I can't do anything on Saturday and Sunday. I gotta watch football. And I'm like, that's when I get everything done. How do y'all live life? Giving up 2 whole days of your weekend every week to watch football. That seems fucking crazy to me. And, big percentage of that does at church Sunday morning. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. So, or how y'all are doing it, I guess is what I should say. I don't know how y'all are doing it. There's way too much shit I have on my list. Let's see, this Howard Rubin thing, I feel like I gotta say for Bradster X, we've talked about him calling in somewhat soon. Today I looked up a Riverside account. I don't know if the free account works, but yeah, we're gonna need to figure out some way where I can call people and it records for them and they don't have to worry about it. If I'm gonna put some money into it, that might make me be like, God damn it. But you know what? That's what I got to do to take A of the show to the top. Then that's what we're gonna do, because we do not like being a bottom. Not as fun in my opinion. But I don't know. I've never actually, write in the show. Let us know what's more fun, top or bottom. I know what I would assume, but I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. All right, here's my kind of take on there's a lot of shootings happening. All right. So I know for the last few weeks we've always talked about the Charlie Kirk. I don't really want to talk about it because I feel like people are like, fuck, I'm so over it. But every day TikTok hits me with the Candace Owens videos about it, and I'm like, God damn it, she's so good. And as in, like, she's good in the way Alex Jones used to be good. I think she's better. I think a lot of people nowadays are better than Alex Jones ever was, because Alex Jones, you always knew half of him didn't believe that crazy shit, but people now, like, you're like, I think they believe all of it, So there's something interesting about that. But kind of so there's these shootings. Charlie Kirkwood, of course, you'll know about, which was Charlie Kirk, Christian man, shot by a Utah guy who I've heard was a Mormon, which I've also heard recently. They don't like to be called Mormon. They like to be called members of the Latter-day Saints or something like that. I don't know if he is or not, but that is what I've heard. And then in Minnesota, a sort of MAGA Trumper guy ran his vehicle into a church and then lit it on fire, shot some people, a Mormon church. And it kind of feels like it's MAGA versus Mormons to me. And I haven't heard anyone with this take. Everyone is like, the liberal trans lover guy shot Charlie Kirk. And then they'll be like, because ideology matters a lot in that ordeal. But then this other thing where like this MAGA guy killed these people in a church, the right wing don't care about that, but then the left wing does care about that. So they both just swap. They're like, it doesn't matter what ideology are. But then when it is the other one, they're like, actually, it now matters. Like, it's one of those time out, time in sort of scenarios. So if you get that. So anyway, I just think it's MAGA versus Mormons. That's my hot take at the moment, which kind of, I feel like somewhat makes sense. I think there's a lot of CIA recruitment areas in Utah, from what I understand. That's what the conspiracy world says. I don't really know. These are just me listening to 33 hints that are given every day. And then also, I think during Trump's rise, Utah was the base of like the never Trump Republican, that they're like, no, we're not getting behind him. He's mean to Mitt Romney or whatever. So, let's just keep a track on it. That's all I'm saying. And if it's a CIA, maybe they're setting it up to turn people against the Mormons because they're too powerful. And so, they're fastest growing population. They're very good at saving money. I think they're buying up all this real estate. The federal government stole the land from them. Utah used to be way bigger, and the federal government's like, we're going to take some of that shit. So, maybe they might be coming back for revenge. Like, this is like a sort of long game, if you will, the 200-year war. All right, I'm going all over my list here, and I know I need to just play a song, but there's so many things. There's a flotilla, which I didn't even know the fuck a flotilla was until this week. I think it's just a group of boats or ships. But a group of ships are heading with aid to Gaza for the Gaza-Israeli conflict, and I believe Greta Thunberg is on these ships. Is on one of the ships. Maybe he's grammatically correct. And originally it was like Greece allowed the ships to pass freely in their water, and then Spain has kind of taken on a responsibility. They're in charge of the flotilla. And then again, I don't know if this is real. This could all be AI videos, but this is what the TikTok shows me. And Israel's basically been like, well, you can't do that. We're not going to let you. Our military will stop you. And they're like, but it's just aid for these poor Gazans. And Israel's like, well, you can land in Israel and then we will take the aid or we'll escort you. And they don't want to do that. So last I saw, but by the time y'all hear this, it should be long over. The Israeli military was going to go meet them in the ocean and escort them to Israel and then deport them out of Israel. That was what I heard. But, just interesting stuff. A little side story there, a little side quest. All right. Weird playing songs moment this week, because the 2 songs I'm going to play that aren't mine aren't out yet. So this is I'm going to have to do a little post-production, add a picture up, all that shit. But Graveyard Entertainment are coming in heavy for Gravy October. I should know the dates, but I'm sorry I forgot them. I want to say October 13th for Sir Nasty's. And then SoCo has 2 EPs, I think, coming out soon. I don't know the exact dates on those. So anyway, first we're going with off Sir Nasty's newest album that I wish I could remember the name of, but I will have a picture that comes up when the song plays of the album cover. I've hit up Graveyard like, hey, send me that. So y'all will see the name of it. It has the word problems in it. It's like fixing my problems for good this time, or something cooler than that. The artwork looked really good on the artwork that I saw. I've been saying I think they're using AI, but that one they might actually hired someone because it looked more intentful. But AI's getting good. Who the fuck knows? So anyway, let's start this off with the name of this song is gonna be, if I can, there it is. I'm in a dark place. Now I've listened to the whole album, and this is probably one of my top 3 or 4 songs on the album. So I was like, this is a perfect one to go with, I think. Lots of bass. I don't know if I mixed it with that much or if they boosted it, but either way, we'll see if it translates to the podcast, of course. But go follow Sir Nasty and Graveyard Entertainment, all the stuff. Let's give a listen to I'm in a Dark Place.
My mind is in a dark place. I got hotels on Boardwalk and Park Place.
What the fuck?
I ain't talking Monopoly. I'm talking to them niggas who thinking they really stopping me. Boy, I got fans for real. Somebody copying me. Fuck all these industry niggas who try and copy me. I know them niggas mad about my liquor brand. She sitting in my lap, my dick is in her hand. I'm just liking the dro, and all these guns I done bought, I ain't fighting no more. So tell your sons we the ones that you can't scare. Yeah, Chevy still popping like it ain't fair. She at the spa waxing off her pussy hair. I'm from Georgia, pick a city, I got pussy there. Yeah, the women love when I hit the stage. No shirt, black shades like I'm Johnny Cage. Dive in that water, I go real deep. I fucked her last night, the bitch still sleep. From Kalamazoo to Timbuktu. If he ain't Jason Gang, we tell him fuck you. I heard Nasty hit them niggas, they say. I heard Nasty got that bag, they say. I heard Nasty fuck them bitches, they say. They put the finger to your mouth and say. I heard Nasty hit them niggas, they say. I heard Nasty got that bag, they say. I heard Nasty fuck them bitches, they say. They put the finger to your mouth and say. Bitch told the judge she heard I bought a rollie. Italian restaurants eating ravioli. She took her pants off, I said holy moly. Rappers run from Jason, X Shag Cola. I get on your ass, you better ask Brody. She blowing spit bubbles, I'm in trouble. Nasty. You better hide the women. You know I come through and have them squirting like a lemon. What the fuck, Nasty? These rappers know not to play with me. I grabbed the AK, somebody tell A-Shoulda pray for me. I know when she talk, God listen. This life that I live is God-given. I told OG snipe them niggas fake slick. Young bitch, pussy good, she can't take dick. What the fuck? These bitches know I came to win. I told them you ain't pimping till you fuck a set of twins. Welcome to the graveyard, we in the lion's den. If you ain't bout that life, nigga, stop lying then. I said it, then I mean it. OG Swint, know it's real, that nigga seen it. Bitch darker than coffee, and she let me cream it. Her friend won't get up off me, I let them tag team it. Whoop, there it is. What the fuck? Lyrical crack, whoop, there it is. I let them tag team it, whoop, there it is. I heard Nasty hit them niggas, they say. I heard Nasty got that bag, they say. I heard Nasty fuck them bitches, they say. They put the finger to your mouth and say. I heard Nasty hit them niggas, they say. I heard Nasty got that bag, they say. I heard Nasty fuck them bitches, they say. They put the finger to your mouth and say, yeah.
A2thaMo makes beats.
I'm in a dark place. Sir Nasty. On A2thaMo makes beats. So yeah. How about that shit? I think I like it a lot. When I first heard it, I really liked the whole him using the open hat noise as a shh that's like part of the beat. And then whenever he added his own shh after like the second round there, I was like, oh, he could have sent me those and I could like put it into the beat, or like we could have turned those up, or I don't know. But I really like that. It was very fun. I have lots of beats on this project, so I'm proud of that, if you will. I mean, I don't know if proud's the right word, but lucky, glad, grateful, or whatever that he's using my beats. Not only for the like cool monetary value that comes with stuff like that, but also I just like hearing people make songs. So, I spend a lot of evenings on this computer working on beats and making stuff. And, I really think a lot of mine are good. I understand like I'm biased and, probably like I think like 70% are good and then like 20% are mid and then 10% are trash or whatever. And there's probably like a smaller percentage in that good, if these are like really good or whatever, you could break it down however. But yeah, make a lot of beats and like, I don't know what ever happened with any of this stuff when you make so many. So I always think it's cool when someone actually makes something with it. And especially when I like the song, because that doesn't always happen. No offense to people. But when I'm always like, oh no, I will listen to this. Always cool, always fun. Shout out Sir Nasty and Graveyard Entertainment. Hopefully, like I said, I'll have a picture or something to put up while I have a song. All right. Second segment. I like to talk about some video games today. Now, last week I went pretty deep into my PlayStation 2, sort of nostalgia run, and still going. And I recorded some stuff to show here, so I'll talk about it. Got back into, first off, I mentioned last week of how everything was so dark. I was like, God, I got this adapter that goes straight from the PlayStation 2 to HDMI, and everything was really dark. Couldn't even play certain games. I bought a PS2 component cable, a really cheap one too, like a $10 one. And then I happen to have a component to HDMI converter already. But that's probably another $10. I don't know how much those are, to be honest, because I already had it. So anyway, I got PS2 component. I believe I'm right here. I could be getting confused with the other ones, but I believe component is the 5 colored cable. So these are like the very beginning of flat screen TVs. You would see those and the end of CRT TVs. So instead of it just having the yellow as the video, it actually had like 3 different things for the video, and then it still had your red and white that were your audio. I want to say it's red, blue, and green are what they turned into. So anyway, I'll be playing footage this whole time, of course, of different games while I'm talking about it. And you'll notice the games are a lot brighter. I can actually read stuff. There were certain things that I thought were black in certain games and menu settings that were totally not. They were like gray, but anything at like a 70% or lower gray was turning into black. So anyway, Monster Rancher 4, of course, still on that. I don't think a lot of people will be that interested in the game, but I love it. And, so that was the first one I was testing out the graphic differences. Also on the component things, it really sharpens up some fonts and shit that doesn't necessarily look good because they were made for CRTs. But it's noticeable, the sharpness of some of the games. Other games I got around to was I got around to Fight Night Round 3. I started a career mode on that. I'd played it I had an original Xbox, and I used to have one of the Fight Nights on there. And so I was like, I think it was this one, but I always get confused which one it was. And so anyway, I started this Fight Night Round 3. I didn't remember hardly any buttons and didn't look them up. Like the first 2 or 3 fights, I just didn't block at all. I didn't know the button to block. And I was like, fuck it. I can dodge. So I was like trying to fucking weave out of every punch. And I still won, but it wasn't pretty. And you know, it was fun, but I noticed the game slowed down a lot. So then I look it up and it was like, yeah, this game did not run that well on the PS2. Like once you get good enough and there's like too many people in the stadium or the audience, you know, the fights start moving slower and you're like, oh yes, the jankiness of older stuff. And then I played a lot of sports games, and I'll get on this, but you notice like a lot of sports games don't age as well as some other genres. You know, they are like you kind of got to play them in the moment to enjoy them the maximum amount, I think. Another one I got to was Tony Hawk Underground. You know, I played Skate last week. A lot of people were playing that, and I was like, you know what? I fucking love Tony Hawk Underground. I remember when it came out, people weren't huge fans because it wasn't Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. And I actually really liked Tony Hawk Underground. It had like a little story mode. It was like an RPG skating game. I thought that was cool. And so I played the first like neighborhood section of that. I don't really know the exact, you know, whenever you move on. But it was fun. You know, I know it's fun for like an hour or two. I don't know if I would sit there and like try to beat the whole story mode or whatever. It also made me want a PlayStation Eye. Which was the old PS2 cameras, because you could take a picture of your face and plaster your face on your guy. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be great. But I'm probably not going to waste money on it for just, you know, these random occurrences. And then I played NBA Street Volume 2, which everyone says is the best NBA Street game. You know, I ran 4 or 5 games on there, nothing too crazy. I do like their career modes. You know, these were basically the beginning of career modes of sports games. You created your guy and then you went through their progression system. Something about NBA Streets always reminded me of fighting games, even though it is a sports game. And I don't really like fighting games. So I have to like it gets kind of repetitive really fast. I guess maybe that's the similarity I have to it. But it is fun. The nostalgia was there, you know, definitely. So that was a pretty good time. So anyway, enjoying the PlayStation 2. I'm considering trying to find a Guitar Hero or Rock Band guitar. I don't think they're too expensive, but I was never good at those games. And it would be, I don't know if it'd be fun necessarily, but be interesting to like try to be good. I could do any of it with when you had the 4 fingers. We were just doing 4 colors, but as soon as they're like, now do 5 colors with 4 fingers, I just like my brain couldn't quite comprehend it. But I do think that could be a good time. So that's something I'm looking into. I really didn't start trying until Rock Band came out, which was way after Guitar Hero. And I really gave Rock Band a shot at a friend's house, and it was, you know, it was fun. But there was like other people involved. I don't know how fun it is single player. But all right, enough with these old PS2 games. The thing I've been waiting for all year, or however long since I've known, the Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles, or the Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, whatever you want to call it, has finally arrived the day before I'm recording this. I stayed up late last night playing it. That's why I sound so tired. And it was great. You know, a lot of nostalgia moments. So far, I love it. I just watched the intro because I've watched the intro to the original game so many times. And, you know, it just hits you with all the feels. All the songs come on. You're like, it's the songs from my childhood. You know, it's interesting how certain things mean a lot to you. This game in particular, it really goes back to my cousin Rusty. We don't talk. We actually were texting about this game, but we don't talk as much as we used to. But we used to be really close. And, you know, back in the day when you make phone calls to people, we would just call each other and talk about stuff. You know, I don't talk to the phone to anybody anymore. But yeah, you know, growing up, he was 3 or 4 years older than me. And we would play this game, the original, and he would name a character after me. And when my character comes, he'd hand me the controller and be like, you get to control your guy. So like, it really wasn't a multiplayer game, but it was for us. And then, you know, the story was cool. I probably didn't fully get it as a kid. And then whenever I went to see my grandfather in Colorado as a kid one time, I took my PS1 and a copy of Final Fantasy Tactics. And I was there for 2 weeks and I beat it. The 2 weeks I was there. And I remember that was like really like, I felt so proud of because I beat it without the help of my cousin. And, you know, I thought like I was a real cool gamer moment or whatever for me. And so yeah, and then again, it came out on the PlayStation Vita, and I got one of those the Christmas after I got in trouble, got arrested in college, And then the Christmas after that, I thought, everyone hated me. I mean, they all kind of did, but I think my mom got me a Vita in that game, and I was like, my child, it was like exactly what I needed. So yeah, the game means a lot to me, I would say. And I was really excited for this game to come out, and I was worried they were gonna fuck it up because they remade this other game in a similar genre called Tactics Ogre, which I personally think they kind of fucked it up by adding some stuff to it. And so I was a little nervous, but so far I really like it. They've enhanced some stuff's better. Like the Archer class used to be unplayable, but now it's like a little OP, possibly. So, there's small, they added some dialogue. All the audio dialogue is great. It's like really good voice acted. It could be fucking AI, honestly, for all I know, but it sounds good. And I really like it. Not that far into it, but it's been all nostalgic fills for me. I know eventually the game's gonna get hard, but right now I'm just fucking beating ass, and that's cool. There is like a hard mode they added on there, but I didn't want to get frustrated right off the bat, so I was like, we'll just go to normal difficulty. I haven't even looked at the trophies. Which is how I like the game, or how I know I like the game, because normally I'm like looking at what trophies and like, oh, what should I be looking out for? But I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to play it and we'll see what happens. So yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evos Chronicles. It's on all the platforms, and I would recommend it. Even if you didn't play the original, I mean, I think it really holds up. Some people don't like strategy games. I guess I could get that, but it's really good. It's really good RPG. If you like RPGs, you missed it. So there we go. That's my video game segment. Let me see if I had anything else on my list here. I don't think so. Not on video games anyway. Yeah, looks like that was it. So, all right, let's play the next song. Next song, I mentioned we're doing Gravy October, and that includes Southern Comfort as well this episode. Now, Soko, I hit him up the other day. Let me see. I can actually pull it up. I hit him up on Twitter. Was asking like when stuff's. I don't know if he told me, like I said, dates, but I do think he said he has 2 things coming out. Actually, yeah, he did tell me dates. So October 5th and then October 12th. So one of those dates have already passed, and one of them are coming up. And I think this song might be out already, but when y'all are hearing this, the name of the song is Daughters. Now I do have to pat myself on the back. I've been mixing Soko's music for the last however few years or something, and some better than others. Sometimes he has good recordings, and same with me, where there's like not a bunch of fans going, and sometimes you get like some shit that's not as clean. And yeah, I've been trying to work with it and make some stuff. But normally what happens, I send him the mixes. And he's like, yeah, this is kind of cool, but I'm going to pump it up to do this extra shit to it. And I'm always like, I don't, and again, I know I'm going to be biased. I think most creators are biased to their own shit. So I'm like, I could be wrong, but I'm like, I kind of think it doesn't sound better necessarily after that. So anyway, this week he admitted to me in the text messages or the DMs that he had some broken speakers all these years. And he's re-listened to some mixes, and he's like, your mixes were better. So, next time we get him on the podcast, maybe we get him to admit it on camera, but I just had to be like, there you go. Now, I don't necessarily think I'm good at mixing stuff. I need to be clear about that. I think I can get us to like 90% of the way there. I do think there's like a sort of polish that makes stuff sound radio ready that I quite haven't ever figured out and probably never will. But I can get it to like, it sounds all right. It sounds pretty good, which I think is pretty good for a self-taught person, but there's better stuff. I'm not trying to act like I'm the man. I'm just a man who happens to mix Southern Comfort songs, including this one we're about to play called Daughters, which obviously is going to be Soko's song shouting out his daughters. I should remember their names because I've listened to the song so many times when I was mixing it, but he'll tell you right here. So let's give it a listen.
This for my daughter. 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 I love you, baby. Love you, baby. Love you, baby. Alexis, Alana, Aaliyah, I love you. Alexis, Alana, Aaliyah, this is your father. Whether I'm here in the flesh or not, I'ma always give you all the very best I got. Every breath that I take, every war that I fought, every battle I waged was to make it alright. So at the end of the night, you would never feel fright, you would never feel fear, cause your daddy is here. Whether working 9 to 5 or just working from home, pay for meals and bills, that's just a part of my role. I do the best that I can to make a beautiful home, and someday I'll be gone, you'll have to do it alone. Don't cry, don't cry. You'll have to do it alone, but someday I'll be gone. Don't cry, don't cry. Alexis, Alana, Aaliyah, I love you. Alexis, Alana, Aaliyah, I love you. This for my daughter, love you. This for my daughter, I love you. This for my daughter, I love you. No matter what, no matter what. Alexis, Alana, Aaliyah, this is your father. Don't mean to bother, just know I love you. No matter where life takes you, I got you. I know you even when you feel you not you. We all get lost. Just remember God is like your father without my many flaws. This is a complicated land filled with many laws. You need to learn them all, try to avoid traps. If a situation feels wrong, you gotta get out. Whether a place or a person, trust your instincts. Only depend on you and your faith. And if it comes from a human, it's probably fake. You gotta live with every choice that you make. So make wise ones, at least the best that you can. And always lead with a backup plan, for real. Alexis, Alana, Aaliyah, I love you. Alexis, Alana, Aaliyah, I love you. I hope you hear words of wisdom, not just a song. In your heart, in your head, don't let my memory fade. And if I die before your mama, help her move on. And if she leave us before all, I promise I'm strong. And my door's always open, no matter the talk. Just walk in and let me know what you want, and I got you. I got you. I love you.
Southern Comfort. Sorry to check. My glasses are so blurry that I thought the camera was blurry. And I was like, oh, no, we're good. Sorry, Soko there. Southern Comfort Daughters really bringing it there on his singing vibes, family love, tapping into that authenticity that only Southern Comfort can bring. I know I mention every time I play his stuff, but I am working at the moment on projects with both Southern Comfort and Sir Nasty extremely slowly. We've gotten 3 songs started each, and we're moving at a snail's pace. I'm fine with it. I'm slowly getting back into music lately. I've been making more beats. I've been writing some stuff, getting some stuff recorded. So we're getting back into it. But there was a hiatus there a little bit, not on purpose. It was kind of just happened. And so I know same with Soko. He's struggling a little bit at the moment of just finding time to do it. I mean, that's become what's been so weird about starting the podcast back. Is just comparing it to I had people don't know A2thaShow for like 4 years, something like that, and I was doing so much more content, and I somehow was also like recording more music. I felt like I was watching more TV, playing more. I was just doing more of everything. I don't even understand how it's possible. It's like I somehow had the machine just rolling before. Where I don't know, it just fucking worked. I can't even quite explain it. But then lately, this every week this podcast has been sneaking up on me. I'm like, oh fuck, I need to record one of these. And then when I'm like, when am I gonna record music? Like, when the fuck is I? So yeah, it's weird. It's weird how that's happening lately. I kind of wonder sometimes if it's all related to like a depression sort of thing, but I don't know. I do talk about depression a lot, but I find it hard on the podcast. So I'm going to try. I'll see if we can pull it off in this segment and talk about it. But I guess what's weird is like, it is just part of me and my personality is the way it feels. Like, I would say I first started feeling depressed in 6th grade. And I actually remember it really well. Not the incident that made it happen. I mean, I wonder that a lot, actually, of like, why am I this way? What is broken with me or whatever? But I remember in 6th grade, I started to at just some point in time on like recess. So in my elementary school was kindergarten through 6th grade. And then it's like morning when you first got to school, everyone was on the recess at the same time. And then at lunch, it was like the first through 3rd grade were on the recess one time. 4th through 6th grade was at recess a different time. And then also like your 6th grade, you would just get like an extra recess with just the 6th grade out there. Is how I remember it. And when it was just the 6th grade, I would just want to go stand by myself, like wherever someone else wasn't. And, I would just go hang out there and just be sad. I mean, and what's so strange about it is the feeling I had then is the exact feeling I have now when I feel depressed. And depressed probably isn't the right word, because I know when people talk about depression, it's like, I sleep all the time, and that's not how it affects me. And then sometimes I use the word manic, but I don't even really think that's right, because to me, manic is like someone like having a break, right? And they're like acting crazy. But to me, it's more of like inside my mind, I might be kind of going crazy with depression thoughts and stuff. But it's like can like zoom out and just realize how like pointless everything is in the world, or so. I don't know. There's like some sort of like I'm seeing like still through my eyes, but also like in a third person perspective of myself. And just I don't know. It really gets me sometimes. And then it's like emotionless, but then through the emotionlessness makes you sad or so. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. And so that's more of like what I think of as depression. And like I said, it started happening in 6th grade. I remember like the little girls that would become eventually scene kids or whatever, all the future emo girls, they would like be like, what's wrong with you? And like, just fucking pester you, trying to like figure you out because you're all just sitting there being all weird and silent and not want to talk to anybody. And somehow that's, they're interested in that or whatever. And then part of me felt like even then, like, am I just doing it for attention? Because people keep fucking asking me about it, but I just couldn't stop. So that is something. And now later on in life, I would say my cousin Rusty, he really, I don't know if he did it, but I hung out with him a lot. So when he got a car when he was 16, I'd be like 12, 13, something like that. And then he would like pick me up for school. And then hanging out wise, he would let me hang out with him. And he would drive around and do different shit. And I do feel like during that time of my life, I didn't feel as depressed, if you will. So I'd be like junior high-ish, like, the world was whatever. And I mean, junior high was scary because like in my school, 7th through 12th grades all in the same building. It's like when you go to 7th grade, all of a sudden you're like, fuck, you're like low man on the totem pole and all that shit. And shit gets weird. It feels like over there. But I don't think I really felt depressed in those junior high days, trying to figure out, you feel awkward and whatever. But then 9th grade, end of 9th grade. So he had been going off to college. I don't necessarily understand, but that's who I was hanging out with. So I'm trying to say. But I remember I was drawing pictures, not of me killing myself, more artistic than that. Like me shooting a mirror I'm looking into and shit like that. And then a teacher found my drawings and then told my mom. And then I'll be honest, I mean, I can't speak for my mom, obviously, but in my thought process then, my mom didn't really, I don't want to say care, but she wasn't going to take me to therapy over it. But I think the teacher was like, you need to put him and take him to therapy. But I think my mom was going to be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I think that's what she basically had that conversation. Like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, it's just a cool drawing. And it was a cool drawing. And it was me just trying to be all probably pretentious and like express the way I was feeling through art. And then it got met with nothing but negative responses. But I did go to a psychologist, I believe is what it was then, to some lady I had to talk to. And at that time, my dad had a job in this factory and we had pretty good health insurance. And I go to this person. First, my mom's in there and they're, we're talking about my family history and, dumb little shit that the ladies ask them. And then she talks just to me and we talk about some stuff. And then something that really sticks out to me from that and another teacher I had a couple of years before this was this lady was basically like, I say a couple years ago, it was actually the exact same year. I forget. This is for freshman year. This lady's basically like, oh, I knew a guy like you too that was a chubby, heavy set guy, but eventually he had a hot wife. And I was like, that was like her pep talk to me. And I had a teacher, same thing of like, oh, I knew a guy like you and just hang in there, you know, and it's like, I appreciate it, but also there is something weird about like an adult woman being like, I know you're fat, but someday you'll get pussy, kid. You know, you're like, I don't want to hear that shit. I want pussy now or whatever. And I don't know if that was something made me depressed. I'm sure it would have helped if I hadn't, you know, made me less depressed, but I don't necessarily think that was, I don't think that was it, but maybe if I had a girlfriend the whole time, you know, I wouldn't have cared. But yeah, so that was that. The lady basically told my mom afterwards that we should move, that I'm in too small of a town. I don't have any friends that I can relate to. And if I moved to a bigger town, I would have friends I could relate to. That's what they told my mom. My mom was like, what a fucking idiot. You think we're just going to move because he's sad? You know, like, and the whole way back, my mom was just bitching about how dumb the lady was for that suggestion. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was my experience there with therapy. And then way later on in life, I get arrested in college, and then I have to go to these therapy sessions to like not have it be on my academic record is what the dean of the university told me. And that's what I did. And then, so yeah, anyway, my freshman year of college, I go to this counselor, and they talk to me about a bunch of shit. And then they put these fucking probes on my head, and they make me watch. It looked like games of Pac-Man, but it wasn't official Pac-Man. It would be like some knockoff fucking version of Pac-Man. And then they're watching my brain waves and shit. And then the lady was like, so you have ADHD? And I was like, no, of course not. And she was like, according to these fucking brain scans you do. And I was like, oh, no one's ever told me that. And then she basically was like, well, the reason you were smoking pot, because that's what I got arrested for in college, smoking pot in the dorms. And she's like, the reason why you're addicted to it, I think is how she worded it, is because your brain works so fast. You're just trying to slow it down. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And then they made me come to some sessions where they hooked me up to this machine where they claimed they were going to try to slow down my brain naturally. And I fought it, whatever that meant. Like, I was just like, I argued with them of like, I don't want to slow down my brain. I think that's opposite of what I would want to do. And they'd be like, well, that's what's making you want drugs. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I want my fast brain. All right, lady. And so, yeah, I just argued with that lady a lot. So yeah, what I'm getting to is I never really liked therapy. So I don't think it's accurate, but I think in the moment I feel smarter than them. And while I fucking talk to some dumb fuck, you know, I'll just therapy myself on a podcast, feel stupid when admitting stuff, and then through that shame, correct your behavior, you know? So I think that's how I do it. And it's hard to feel depressed while doing a podcast. I mean, you could, but I just know it'd be even a worse product. So you're like, we're just pushing through it, you know? And yeah, no. And there's also, of course, the suicidal ideations, I think, that come with a lot of this that not everyone experiences. And I don't really like talking about it because it makes like my wife doesn't like what I talk about and stuff like that. But it's hard to explain to people that don't have. Something that's really stuck with me from when we started a podcast back in the day, and Snappy came on, and he had a stepbrother, I think it was, that had committed suicide. And he had said something of like how, you know, he couldn't imagine how anyone could do that or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, I think about it all the time. Like, I'm always thinking about it. Always. I mean, not always. I keep track, but it's like over half the days it crosses my mind. And honestly, it's not scary or concerning to me when I'm depressed or sad or shit's not going the way I want or whatever. And then my brain's like, you could just kill yourself. You know, I'm like, I think that makes more sense to me. I think what gets weird, and it's made me break down before, is like when life's going pretty good, you know, and you're like, man, life's fucking awesome, or not awesome, but you know, it could be worse and you're doing all right, you know. And then you're driving down the road and you know, just thinking like, you know, life's good, the weather's good, whatever. And it's like, I should just kill myself now. I mean, what else are we living? And then I have had those thoughts and then start crying. And then I feel like a fucking bitch. I'm like, what the fuck you crying about? Fucking imaginary thoughts? And then you fucking suck it up. Cause we're men. That's what men do. But those are, I feel like, more concerning. Now I don't bring it up, I guess, because I haven't necessarily, I know people that have like had the gun in their mouth and, you know, took the pills, had to get their stomach pumped, you know, things like that. And I've always gotten I just think it's natural to think about it, but maybe it's not. Maybe I am fucked up. I used to think it was natural to everyone. I used to think everyone was a dopamine addict. I used to say on this podcast. And then I was like, well, humans are just dopamine addicts. That's what we are. I would say that shit all the time. And then someone was like, no, people with ADHD are dopamine addicts. You're like, oh, well, I guess that does make sense. I thought I was speaking for everyone. And I think most humans are, to be honest. I mean, it's the feel good juice. How is not what you want or whatever? You know, even if you don't want, you don't think about it. Like it's just the way it works. Anyway, I feel like that was a good rant that I probably should cut the whole thing, but I'm going to leave it. All right. Because that's what we're here for, to give out the straight off the top emotional vibes of depression and suicidal thoughts. Someone out there will relate, or other people be like, I don't get it at all, but you heard that perspective. So check it out. All right, we're in with the song here, and it's going to be a song off of the Bros album. If you don't know, that is Brain Rot Over Sanity, collab album between myself and Bradster X. And we worked really hard on this. Came out earlier this year. And I really think it holds up as like a concept album, which we both are fans of. I've thought about going ahead and working on beats for the second one, but we put more work into this than we have most projects, I feel like. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but it took a long time, you know, but it was fun. And so it might be something we do, but this is one of my favorite songs off of it. It's called CFWU, in parentheses, the word kill. Now, I may have played this on a music spinoff episode, but I don't think I played on a main one. So I was like, fuck it, we're playing this one. When I made this originally, it was just a beat. The beat was something I knew I would love. And then I put in this sample of the word kill because Bradster X is like a half horrorcore artist. I only said because like he could do a bunch of other stuff, but you know, like that's in his DNA, if you will. So I was like, oh, bring in this kill thing. And then for the album, people unfamiliar, we have lots of internet samples. And now these are, of course, off TV interviews, more the internet, but things I found on TikTok we were ripping audio from. And so you'll hear some Charles Manson, some oh my God, I can't even think of her name right now. The woman who had the guy kill her mom, Ruby Gray. Why are you forgetting? Anyway, let's just listen to it. No, we're going to be out of here after that. Appreciate everyone taking the time to listen. Not all the episodes are super funny. I feel like I did not deliver the humor here. So hopefully you're here for something else, you know, here for the vibes, here for the friendship, the internet friendship. Also, speaking of internet friends, I'm debating officially removing all the internet friends at the end of this year. They'll all be up on Bandcamp, but I'm thinking about removing off shit. They don't get any listens, very few. And then everything I made with SoCo, Sir Nasty, or Bradster X, or H2, we could remake all of those. If you're interested, if you are listening, reach out to me. We'll figure that out. All right, anyway, Kill, aka CFWU, A the Mo, Bradster X. Check out the song. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Oh, I forget. I gotta pull it up. Here it is. Peace.
You've got it stuck in your brain that I murdered somebody. What do you want to call me a murderer for? I've never killed anyone. I don't need to kill anyone. Think it. I have it here.
Many tried, many failed, can't fuck with us, know the deal. You can hear it in the rhymes, all the lines that they steal. No room in the building, but they fit us on the bill. Put us on the stage, you know we kill. Bitch, we in the field, bitch, we play the game. Making money even if you don't know our names, man. You bitches are fake, man, you bitches are lames.
2025 and you're still buying plays, man, we're barely surviving as a human society. Fighting with each other, all trying for notoriety. All of you the same, there ain't no variety. Nobody is themselves, well, fuck that entirely. We've been locked in, we came for the gold. Don't live under a bridge, but you know that we're some trolls. Won't be boxed in, bitch, don't do what we're told. Not in your top 10, cause your list is too old. You can't fuck with us. No matter what you say you do, you can't fuck with us. No matter what you say you do, you can't fuck with us.
They say I'm a murderer. I don't identify as that. I don't associate myself as a murderer. I asked Nick for help. Yes, I did that. He's the one that did the actual kill.
Keep killing beats, I got plenty more. Kids these days in November don't even fap anymore. I couldn't take a day off, you could say I was a boss. Now different kind of daily beats, I hope that it pays off. If I had to be honest, I know that we kill shit. The struggle's trying to build shit. Infectious flows, we spit it. Yes, it's a sickness. The urges, the voices. They say we have no choices, but we know it sound ridiculous. I can't fuck with you like chastity belts. Can't fucking chill, but marijuana guess kinda helps. I wanna retire, but I can't really do nothing else. So we yelling fuck with us while we just hold up the fucking belts. I'm raised on DX, now say suck it, hoping she say yes. About to kick the bucket any day, but pray for the best. Ain't nothing wrong yet, but some of y'all just know how it is. Nobody fuck with us, cause music industry just pedophiles fucking kids.
No matter what you say you do, you can't fuck with us. No matter what you say you do, you can't fuck with us. No matter what you say you do, you can't fuck with us. No matter what you say you do, you can't fuck with us.